Let's back to your adaptation here. What was the hardest part and what was the easiest?
Everything was the hardest part. Like when we're speaking about adaptation and integration, like when anyone asks me even now about it, I always say that I'm not fully integrated and I'm not fully assimilated, of course. Why? Because actually I don't know if it is even possible to be fully integrated. If you came from another culture, you will definitely, you will be integrated to some percent, to some extent, but you won't be like 100% integrated. Maybe it is possible if you refuse from your previous identity and you work really, really hard to know everything the person of your age, of your social status, of your walk of life knows here. But I don't think it's really possible because, yeah, like for the last several years, I've met like such a huge amount of people, and I have to meet like a lot of people to do networking, to be really integrated. And the person who was born here in Ghent, for example, he or she like knew all those people from their childhood, from their school, from the university. And they don't have to spend so much effort just meeting those new people. They live their normal life. So I don't think that this can happen, the full integration. But what is the hardest part for me? It still is. It's not an ability to use your social capital. Like you don't have it here as much as you had it in Ukraine. And your reputation also, because like in Ukraine I had some reputation. I was the head of the NGO. I was a great English teacher. I was a great university teacher. People knew me. Like I was a well-known person in my city and also in some other Ukrainian cities. So I had some reputation. And here, when I came here, I was like zero because, or even less than zero because I don't even speak the language people speak. So this was the most difficult part. And as for now, it remains the most difficult part because as a writer, I would like to be not only like and now I live here, and I would like to be also a Belgian writer, not only a Ukrainian one. And to be a Belgian writer, I need at least to speak the language as good that I could take part in like difficult conversations, difficult discussions and everything. Like with this is easier because when you speak, it's okay if you make some mistakes and you can just somehow, it's easier, but you can't write books in a language you don't know so well as your own language, because the language is your instrument. So for me, I think this language barrier is the most difficult.
Was it difficult to establish a parish?
It was not difficult, but it took a long time. So like, it depends. I don't know what was the real reason that we succeeded in it. So I wouldn't say that we established the parish, because it's also always the church who establishes it, but we definitely initiated the parish. And I have written several letters to the bishop, our bishop who is in Paris. At that time it was Boris Hudzyak. It's a famous Ukrainian priest and bishop, and now he is in the USA. But at that time he was in Paris, and there was an option to send this letter through the form on the web page. And I also had the conversations with several priests from here, from Belgium, that our community, our small community, would like to invite a parish, and maybe they would be ready to come with the parish here, because I also knew that the policy of Bishop Boris Hudiak was like opening the more parishes he could open. So that this was his policy to bring the Greek Catholic Church to as many places he could. So I was hoping that we will succeed in it. And then there was a little miracle, because Boris Hudiak, a bishop, the Bishop Boris Hudiak, he also is a member of the same Scout organization, Plast, that I am, and we were having, like here Belgian Ukrainian Scouts were having the like short spring camp in Francorchamps. This is in Wallonia. It's a Ukrainian land in Belgium, a really Ukrainian land that belongs to Ukrainians. They literally just bought this land. And I met there Bishop Boris Hudiak. He came there, and I had a conversation with him about the possibility of organizing the parish. And since then, I started to contact his assistant. And then in several months, I had the first contact with Otec Ivan Danchevsky. And then we started to, like they started to communicate with the Belgian church. It was not an easy process as well. Quite long, and now I don't see it as a very long, but at that time it was like it took some time, maybe a year, and for me at that time it was like, oh, why so long? But now when I'm just looking back, I see that it's not so long. A year, like for Belgium, it's pretty fast. So yeah, and because like all of us were in different countries. Like Bishop was sitting in Paris, the priest has to come from Ukraine, and also Belgian church has to learn all to study all the case and all the pros and cons and everything. So yeah, it was successful, and like now again looking back, I would say it wasn't so difficult.
Was there a moment when you realized, yes, now we have a real community?
I don't think that was like the moment like this, because maybe yes, maybe it is also connected to the church, because the parish, when Otec Ivan Danchevsky, Priest Ivan Danchevsky, and also the bishop who did really a great job on establishing this this parish, when they succeeded in it, the parish started to attract people, like different people we didn't know before, and who didn't hear about the Facebook group, who wasn't on Facebook even, like people who just accidentally got to know. And it was a lot of these accidents, like little accidents, people finding church and joining. And then yeah, at that time, like in 2 months after the parish was established, I had a baby, so I was not so involved into the life. Like I was involved, but not fully as I could be, and I had like different problems to solve. But then the first, I think it was somewhere around the Christmas, when the Bishop of Boris Hudiak for the first time came to the parish, like to speak in front of the people. And there were really a lot of people there in our church. And that, I think that at that moment I felt that, yes, we have a community. And I also want to share this thing, because this is like happened before even my decision and my coming here to Gent to live for the longer period. It was at the time when we were living with my husband in different countries, and I was like when I was coming to Belgium, we were sitting, we were going for the mass, like to different churches, and I remember this time sitting in the Sint-Salvatorkerk during the mass, and there's like a huge cross hanging from the ceiling. and I was looking at the Christ, at those cross, and thinking that, oh, I would so much like to be able to come to Mass, like in Ukrainian church here in Gent. And like I felt at that moment like something, like with this thought, it wasn't accidental. Like in this, me looking at this cross, at Christ on the cross, and thinking this, it wasn't accidental. And then when the bishop came here and all this feeling of the community was, I was also thinking about that very moment when I had this idea of having Ukrainian church community here in Ghent, and it felt really like a wonder.
Is there a divide between those who arrived a long time ago and those who arrived after 2022? And how can they be united, if yes?
This is not... I cannot answer this question like with yes or no, because definitely there were some tensions between those who were here before, but mostly it is because, yeah, people just don't understand other people. It's not because of being like Ukrainians who came before and who came later, but it's just like, I think that people nature, that they see something positive in other people's lives but don't see negative in other people's lives. Like the people who were here before, they saw this only the negative things they had to go through to be integrated here, and to at least to stay in Belgium, because it wasn't so easy to stay in Belgium. You had to have these proper documents and everything. And yes, like Ukrainians who were fleeing the war, for them, like in this respect, it was easier because of the documents, but we shouldn't forget that it was difficult in other respects, especially for those who were just fleeing from under the bombs from the cities which are now destroyed. So in general, I wouldn't say that there is a divide. There are some people who are who are doing this, like criticizing others. But in general, I don't see this divide. I think that it is now more and more becoming more fluent, and like Ukrainian community is now getting bigger, because like after the full-scale invasion, and also more united, and people are starting to find their own place within this community and everything. I think that in some time we will just work all together, and we will be doing each other's, like each in each other's direction.
What moments from the crisis center's work have stuck with you the most?
Oh, I remember these moments when the church was full of these boxes, like really, the whole, all the pathway was full of the boxes, like in the chapel when we are sitting here, it was also like completely full of the boxes, like all this there were a lot of stuff, and it was just like this is the moment that is the scale of all of it that was happening. And also the moment when we sent our first lorry with the humanitarian help to Ukraine. It was also like this feeling that we could do it, because no one from us had ever, never had any experience with logistic or something, or finding, like this was very new to all of us. But still, in a week after we started, like we started it on Monday, on Saturday we already launched this lorry, and it went to Ukraine, bringing their really important things that could save lives. So, and also there were funny things, like, you know, this Facebook memories are very helpful sometimes, because like several days ago I had this memories from 3 years ago, when the volunteers who were sorting things out, they found this 2 cans of pickles, and it was written on this can, somebody has written like bon appetit, our dear soldiers, and if it is not tasty, you may throw it into a Russian soldier, like this, like you can use it to throw into a Russian. But there were like funny things that people were trying to, I don't know, to bring some humor in all the situation. So this is something that that really stays with me.